Coming to you from the Lydia Media Studios in the heart of Lewiston, Auburn, it's Lydia's Lunch Bunch, LA's afternoon morning show with Mark, Sara, and Pam. We're covering news and events in the greater LA area and talking to the people making a difference in our community. Give us a listen at lydiamediallc.com or wherever you get your podcasts. And feel free to share your comments, questions, or suggestions via email at podcast@lydiamediallc.com. Like Roger from Dartmouth.
No, I did not steal that capybara from the San Francisco Zoo. I've never even been to California. I don't know what you're talking about.
So mind your business, Roger.
Mind your business, Roger.
If that is your real name.
Today's show is brought to you by United Piping, serving residential and commercial customers with new installations and repairs. Call today and schedule your oil and gas boiler cleanings at 754-4556. UPI, the best plumbers around. And also by Ruper's Beverage and Redemption. When it comes to beer, wine, and spirits, don't botch it, squatch it. At 5 locations in Lewiston, Auburn, and Oxford. Learn more at rupersbeverage.com, and remember, the party starts at Ruper's.
Let's take a look at some headlines for Monday, January 27th.
The Lewiston Finance Committee will meet tonight at 5:30. The agenda includes discussion of fiscal year 2026 capital improvement plans, recommendations for bids on lead program risk assessor services, and Holy Cross neighborhood paving and sidewalk improvements.
The City of Auburn is seeking input on city services and amenities. The input will guide budgeting decisions to shape the destiny of the city. It will also ensure that federal funds are directed where they are needed most. More information can be found at auburnmaine.gov.
The National Telecommunications and Information Administration is awarding $24.8 million to expand broadband and digital skills training across Maine. The funding will ensure communities have the access and skills to fully participate in the digital world, regardless of their background or circumstances.
Save the date for the Battle of the Badges hockey game. The Lewiston Police Department will face off against the Boston Fire Department for, I believe, the second year in a row. February 8th at the Coliseum. There's free parking, free admission, and donations will benefit the Maine Resiliency Center and the Travis Roy Foundation.
U.S. Army veteran Matt Jabot of Lewiston is heading to the Super Bowl. Patriots quarterback Drake May delivered the tickets to Jabot at the American Legion in Portland as part of a partnership with USAA and the American Legion. Jabot is an active member of the American Legion and is passionate about mentoring and developing the next generation of leaders. He'll attend the Super Bowl with his fiancée, who is also a veteran.
And Matt is a former guest on the podcast when we had, I think, 4 members of the American Legion in.
Oh.
It was prior to Veterans Day. Weather.
Oh, that's me.
Here's Pam with the weather.
Oh, I can't wait till spring.
Me either.
Cloudy today with a high of 33 and a low of 16. Sunny tomorrow with a high of 29 and a low of 7. Chance of snow on Wednesday with highs in the 20s and lows in the single digits.
Do we know how much snow?
Probably not enough.
Shall we talk more about sports?
Yes. Let's check out the sports. The Super Bowl 59 matchup is set. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles will square off in New Orleans on February 9th.
The Celtics will host the Houston Rockets tonight at 7:30.
The Bruins visit the Buffalo Sabres tomorrow night.
And the Maine Nordiques split a pair of games with the Philadelphia Rebels, losing Friday 5-2 and winning Saturday 4-0. Got a little shutout there. The Nords remain in a first-place tie with the Rochester Junior Americans, and the teams will play in New York this weekend.
Ooh. The battle for first place continues.
It does.
Nordiques head coach Nick Skurlick became the winningest head coach in team history with his 67th win on Saturday.
Can we have him come in? We should be talking to this guy.
We should be talking to Nick.
We should reach out to him directly and be like, hey. Come here on Wednesday.
And he'll be like, how did you get my number?
And we'll be like, don't ask questions. Ask Roger from Dartmouth. Carter Walls netted 2 goals, and Riley Burnett stopped 23 shots as the NA3 Nordiques shut out the New Jersey Titans 5-0. They'll play again this afternoon at 1 p.m. in New Jersey.
Bates College men's basketball visits Maine Maritime Academy tomorrow night.
CMCC men's ice hockey beat Dartmouth College 4-2. CM men's basketball picked up a road win at Paul Smith's College 88-69. And women's ice hockey will host Bates College tomorrow night.
And on the high school schedule today in boys basketball, we have Monmouth hosting Richmond at 6:30.
And in girls basketball, Monmouth Academy will be at Richmond at 6 p.m.
In boys hockey, Freiburg, Lake Region, Oxford Hills at Lewiston at 7.
And in girls hockey, Edward Little Levitt, Poland Monmouth at St. Dom's at 4:50. That's at Norway Savings Bank Arena right here in Auburn.
There you go. That's your news, weather, and sports. And right now it is time for the podcast segment that is sweeping the Twin Cities. It's time for famous people birthdays.
They're famous. It's their birthdays. It's famous people birthdays. It's famous people birthdays.
Let's take a look at FPBs for January the 27th, shall we?
Yes.
Alrighty then.
Okay.
All right, Sarah, tell us about this Alan Cumming character.
I like Alan Cumming because he's sort of like an under the radar type actor. He's 60 years old today, but if you go back, like he's been in movies like Romy and Michelle's High School Reunion, and he was the Nightcrawler in one of the original X-Men movies from the beginning of the series, and he's on this great show right now. He's a Broadway actor, first of all. He does a lot of singing roles, but he is in this show called Schmigadoon. Which, have you heard of Schmigadoon, Pam?
No, I just saw his picture.
And
I was like, oh.
I don't even remember what streaming platform I found it on, but I watched it for the first season and I like binge watched it. It was so good. It's so funny. It's basically these two people, Cecily Strong and Michael Key from Key and Peele.
Okay.
They get trapped in this world that is just a musical. And all of these people,
what a
like,
nightmare.
It's a nightmare. They can't figure out how to get out. And every day, like, the plot changes to, like, suit some sort of musical. And they have to figure out how to get out of it. And it is hilarious. It happens to them twice. So there's Schmigadoon and Schmicago. It's hilarious. It's so good. It's so well written. And it's just one of those things that's, like, entertainment for the sake of being entertained.
Okay.
And I love it. And I love Alan Cummings just because he's kind of a treasure.
Aw.
Yeah.
Great.
And it's his 60th, so it's like a milestone.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you see his picture, you're like, oh yeah, I know him.
Yeah. Does John Rice remind you of
Yes. John Rice does remind me of Alan Cumming.
Okay. Singer Mike Patton of Faith No More is 57 years old today. Great band.
Yeah.
Bridget Fonda, daughter of Peter Fonda, is 61
Oh, wow.
today. Yeah.
She was in one of my favorite terrible movies,
Which is?
Lake Placid. It's a movie that I insist you watch because it's right up your alley.
She was also in Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown in 1997.
Yeah. Big in the 90s, yeah.
She said that was her favorite role ever.
Yeah, Single White Female was good. So was Singles.
I think, wasn't that with Jennifer Jason Leigh?
Yep.
Single White Female.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
She was good. It Could Happen to You was cute with Nick Cage.
That's right.
That was a cute one.
Yep.
Yeah. Please watch Lake Placid.
Okay.
Please. If you do nothing else,
you?
you must.
Keith Olbermann is 66 years old today. American sports and political commentator. You might know him from the glory days of SportsCenter back in the day,
Yeah.
right? Where
Glory days.
Yeah, he and Dan Patrick,
Yes, it
the
was.
top-rated duo back then. Yeah, they were great.
I remember like getting home from class at 11 o'clock and being like, I gotta watch SportsCenter. And I wasn't even like a sports person at the time. It was just like fun. It was entertaining.
Yeah, they were
to
great
watch.
together.
Yeah, they were.
How about Mimi Rogers, Sarah?
Yeah, so Mimi Rogers was the original Mrs. Kensington in the Austin Powers
Oh,
movie.
wow.
Yeah, baby.
All right.
I know none of these people. Like, I literally have to put their names in Google and have their
Hey,
picture come
baby.
up and be like, oh, yeah, I kind of know them.
You'll see her and it'll be like Alan Cummings. You'll be like, oh,
Shag
yeah.
now or shag later?
Shagalicious, baby. So weird.
Mikhail Baryshnikov is 77 years old today.
Nice.
Is he the Lord of the Dance?
No,
Oh.
that's Michael
The Lord
Flatley,
of the dance.
Yeah.
whose legs move independently of his body. As Chandler Bing would say.
I had him mixed up with the Lord of the...
Yes, he's a
okay.
ballet dancer.
Yeah, okay.
He's one of the most graceful people to ever walk the planet, I think.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. He doesn't walk, he floats.
And you know me, so that's kind of
Yeah, I know, right?
So are we like in the same category?
Totally.
And rounding out FPBs for January the 27th is Patton Oswalt.
Woohoo!
56 years old today, stand-up comic and actor. You might remember him as the voice of Remy in Ratatouille back in 2007.
It's a great movie.
Great movie.
He's also been in the newest version of Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh, that's
He's
right.
had recurring roles in Reno 911
Yeah.
and Archer. Mm-hmm. He was also a recurring character on The King of Queens from 1998 to 2007.
He was married to Michelle McNamara, who was a true crime writer. She was the author of a bunch of different true crime books, and she passed away unexpectedly. But she was like one of the instrumental people in finding the Golden State Killer, who was like a prolific serial killer out in California. So she was quite something.
Patton has won a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Writing for a variety special and a Grammy Award for Best Comedy Album for his Netflix special, Patton Oswalt, Talking for Clapping, in 2016. Those are your FPBs for January the 27th.
Whether you want a sit-down meal or a grab-and-go, Pat's Pizza in Auburn offers delicious sandwiches, pasta, salads, and pizza at family-friendly prices. Pat's Pizza, serving the L.A. area since 1985. Open daily from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at 85 Center Street in Auburn. Online at patsauburn.com.
Don't miss the January issue of Uncle Andy's Digest, featuring Greater Lewiston Auburn's 30th annual Best Businesses for 2024, plus a Valentine's Day gift guide, events calendar, shout-outs, and plenty of one-liners and jokes guaranteed to put a smile on your face. And be sure to visit UncleAndys.com and enter to win the Sweethearts Contest. You and your sweetie will appear in the February issue and could win a Valentine's Day gift basket. Uncle Andy's Digest, your local guide to, well, just about anything. Sherry and I went to the Bruins game and sat with the animals up in the balcony.
What is
It was awesome.
What do you mean the animals?
I mean, have you ever sat in the balcony in certain sections?
No.
It's like sitting in the bleachers at Fenway.
Oh.
Yeah, these people drink a lot,
A little rowdy.
and they're a little rowdy.
But
it was fun.
They came out with a win.
Yes, they did.
There you go.
Yeah.
It was a good game. Yeah.
It was. Yeah, it was fun to watch.
Yeah. Did you ever do the thing where you were going to try to get like super close seats cheap for the game?
Oh, yeah.
Did you do that?
Yeah. So obviously these weren't close, but they were super cheap. Okay. Yeah, I got them
Halfway.
I got them like it was an hour and a half before puck drop.
Yeah.
At like half of what they normally go for.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you went to Boston
I did.
Took the train.
Took the train.
Spent
and
a
bought
night.
tickets when you got there?
Yeah. We were sitting at the bar having a drink, and I'm like, all right, it's getting close. I'm going to get our tickets now. So I got the tickets.
Risky, right?
I mean,
Risky. What if you had not been able to get up in the balcony, but the only ticket that was available were tickets like right down on the floor, and you would have to pay for those? Would you have done that?
It depends, I
Yeah.
think.
How much?
Yeah.
How
I
much?
mean, we were in a sports bar, so worst comes to worst, we can watch the game on television.
Sure. And you still have a nice like weekend together because you guys went early.
Yeah.
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 Did you get tacos?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the tacos. We went to Heritage Hall, which
Yeah.
is like their new museum,
Yeah.
interactive museum.
so this was a planned, spontaneous day?
Yeah.
Yeah. It does sort of sound that way. Planned spontaneity.
Yeah.
Planned spontaneity.
Yeah, it was full of adventure.
Planned spontaneity. You got to see the bear. You got to
Yep.
see the big bear.
We got to see the big bear.
Did you touch it?
Yeah, of course.
Was it super cold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's already starting to get worn down a little bit from everyone
From people touching
his
it?
paw.
I
Yeah.
like it. And you got to visit Bobby.
Got to visit Bobby.
Good old Mr. Orr.
That's right. So, yeah.
There's another statue, is Bill Russell, around that area too. Or I've walked around and found a statue
Really?
of Bill Russell
I've never seen it.
in the neighborhood, like not right next to TD Garden. It's not true to size, very similarly to Bobby Orr, but when you stand next to it, you're like, wow, Bill Russell's tall. Statue Bill Russell's even taller. That's good. Sportsing is fun, right? If you could be really good at a sport, what would you choose to be really good at?
I've always loved basketball. I played basketball, and I was unfortunately more concerned about having fun and being leisure when I was in high school. So sophomore year, my mom made me try out. I didn't want to try out. I was like, no, I'm good. And there was a lot of politics.
Oh, yeah.
And I just didn't like that game. It was all about who you were and not how well you played kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want to fight that battle.
Yeah. There's so many other things to worry about at that age.
Right.
Yeah. But it's a thing. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, so my mom was like, well, I'm not paying for driver's ed unless you try out for basketball. So
Mom.
I was like, oh, okay, I'll try out. And my effort was not,
Yeah.
100%.
But you just had to try out. You didn't.
It was
have to
as
make the team.
expected for someone being forced to play basketball.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
Imagine that.
And I made the team. I'm like, how did that happen? But yeah, halfway through the season, I was like, I'm not feeling this.
I don't want to play. Did you quit?
I did.
Oh.
Yeah. That's one of the things I regret.
Oh, really?
I wish I would have stuck it out and kind of just put that noise of who is who in the background and just played. Yeah. But I didn't. I had fun watching the boys play, and I watched a lot of high school hockey, and I would have missed all that if I would have played. So, whatever. It is what it is. But I wish I would have kept playing, and I think I would have been pretty good.
Yeah. Did you play point guard, forward?
I was, guard or point guard.
Yeah.
Yep. I liked dropping the threes.
Hitting them
Pam shot from downtown.
I like it.
Ashby from the parking lot. Nothing but net.
What about you, Mark? If you had the ability to play any sport really well, what would it be?
It would be baseball, and it's not even close.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen your pitch.
You've seen my pitch?
Yeah.
When?
You had to throw out the first pitch at the
Oh,
Sea
yeah.
Dogs.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was horrible.
I wish I'd been there in person
Oh,
because it was really horrific.
Yeah, it was.
I got to see it on video after the fact, and I was like, "What was
The thing
that?"
is,
can we post
the
this
thing
video?
is because I'm who I am, Pam. I'm like I'm not gonna make it boring. And I was thinking of some different things I could do. I was going to throw it into the stands. I was going to roll it like a bowling ball. And when I went to pitch, I thought of all those things at the same time. And
So he just did nothing.
it did not work out. I left a nice divot in front of home plate.
What position would you have played if you had played baseball?
Given the choice, I would be a closing pitcher. Yep.
So much pressure.
I know
That's a lot
that's
of
why I would
pressure.
do it, because I think I could handle it.
You are good under pressure.
Thanks.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. Under pressure. Pam just started.
Yeah.
Sarah.
I think probably I would have liked to have been better at soccer. I really like soccer. I like that it's like a constantly moving sport. And I didn't love that about basketball because I don't like to be inside. Like I would rather
Yeah.
be outside, and you could do soccer outside. Like they're very similar, but it's
Yeah, well, the weather during soccer season is a little bit better than the weather
Yeah.
during basketball season.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
The fall in Maine is gorgeous. A lot of the games
When it's cold.
Yeah. Well, and for northern Maine, we go back to school pretty early. We go back to school in the second week of August.
Yeah.
So that's when practices started.
Yeah.
Was August. So I would go and I'd watch my friends play soccer and be like, I should play soccer. And then I never played soccer because they interfered with basketball. Our practices would start when they would still be playing finals. And I did not like
That's
basketball.
unfortunate.
I did not like playing basketball.
Trevor played soccer, and he never missed a season of basketball. But he played soccer.
Yeah.
He switched up his fall sport. Is that fall?
Yeah,
I don't know,
soccer's
the one
fall
before, and basketball's
Basketball's
winter.
winter, yeah.
He played soccer. He played football one year. He played. He was on the golf team for a year.
Wow.
Yeah, he kind of rotated through, which was cool.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was fun to watch him play soccer, though. He played goalie for a little while, and that was so much pressure
Yeah.
for that too.
Pressure.
But
Pressure.
in I think it was middle school, because Trevor was really fast too, so it was kind of like, oh, should we put him in the goal because he can
the one
really
place he holds
speed.
still.
Yeah. So every once in a great while, the coach would let him save a kick or save a goal, and then run it down the field.
Nice.
And let him play.
Wow.
To come out of the goal and play.
That's so
I'm like,
cool.
oh my God.
That's a bold move.
Yeah. I think I didn't enjoy high school sports because I don't know how it is around here for basketball, but up north where I grew up, people took it so seriously. They took it so seriously. And I just couldn't understand at 14, 15, 16 why adults were screaming at me. Like, why are you screaming at me? I'm out here doing my very best.
Yeah.
And you're screaming at me to do better. And I can't do it. And I ended up not playing basketball.
I blocked all that out. I didn't hear anything.
Oh, I could hear it.
I didn't hear anything. I was
could
just
hear it all.
zoned in. But yeah, I don't think that's gotten better. I mean, maybe in some sense, but parents on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Like Alex is playing at the Y right now, and not even halfway through the season, an email went out and was like, hey, these kids are just learning.
They're just kids.
And the refs are volunteers. Can we just, I was like, really?
Yeah.
And I told Kevin about it. He's like, well, I know what parent they were talking about. I'm like, yeah, me too.
Yeah, you know who they're talking when they send that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we all know, but
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
You know, because they're all just learning and having fun and figuring out whether or not they want to keep going.
Do you want to keep playing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex is just starting to get into trying things.
I'm
and
glad
he's
he likes it.
baseball,
Skiing.
basketball, and he just started skiing as well. He has admitted that he likes skiing better than basketball. So.
Good.
And he plays golf.
Oh, he loves golf.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
good at golf,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
That's what our oldest played was he didn't play. My son didn't want to do organized sports. He tried them all.
Yeah.
He did them all. He played baseball, he played basketball. He just didn't want to do them. So in the end, middle school hit and he was like, I'm going to do the ski team. I'm going to do cross country.
Yeah.
I'm going to do everything sports that I can that is on a team but independent.
Right.
And he was good at all of that. And that I liked that for him. Our youngest, Asher, he is a goalie. And it's the same thing, like watching from the stands and listening to parents around me say things. And I'm like, that these are just 14 and 12, 13, 14-year-old kids. Like, can we not be so cruel? And also, like, the officials, like, they're volunteers.
Right.
They're not getting paid to do this. They're out there.
Or they're
doing
not
their
getting
best.
paid much. Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Just stop. Let them enjoy that this sport exists and it's fun for them. And it's so interesting. I did notice yesterday at one of the games, the opposing team was up by 6, and their goalie's body language was really strange to me. So Asher, ours, is also a goalie. He's in the goal. A goal goes in. He shakes it off, flips his helmet, takes a drink of water, flips it back down, gets back into position. Like he just shake
Wash
it off.
it.
Like shake it off, no problem. Down by 6 points. The other team's goalie, orange goalie, goal would go in, lay on the ice for 15 seconds, shaking his head, throwing his stick slapping his stick, and it's like, kiddo, you better learn right now. That is not the attitude that you want to take away from this game.
Yeah.
Like, you're up by 6. You are winning. Take that, put that in your back pocket, shake it off, and do better next time. Like, you don't need to. That body language is so important. And just watching it, I was like, man, what are we doing to these kids?
Yeah.
What are we doing to them?
Tough.
Like, is there somebody after this game who's going to have a conversation with him about how he accidentally let in 4 goals when they still won the game?
Right.
Like, what's that like for them? Like,
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just hard.
That's what
Talk about
happens
pressure.
when your parents don't realize their dreams and reach their potential.
I do think that does play
Yeah.
into it. Yeah. And we, with ours, and I don't know how you were with Trevor, like, once you started it, you stuck with it. If you didn't like you didn't have to do it again next year. But if you signed up to play basketball, you were there for the season. You did it. Maybe you sat on the bench the whole time because you weren't great, but you did it.
Yeah.
We didn't let ours quit. And so I think that's important. Like,
Yeah.
you can quit when the season is done, but you can't quit in the middle.
Yeah, I didn't have to have that conversation with Trevor. When he started something, I enjoyed this part is that I'd have to rein him back.
Yeah.
Instead of like try to, make him put more effort in, I'd be like, okay, like he'd get on himself more than a coach or I would. I'd be like, it's okay that you made those mistakes or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, kids are.
They should be allowed to play.
Yeah.
And just be able to play.
But I agree. Once you start, you got to follow through and.
You might regret it if you don't.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Did your kids play sports, Mark?
Yeah, they did the karate and t-ball. And,
Oh, that's right.
yeah, all that
T-ball.
stuff.
T-ball.
T-ball was something, huh?
Loved
Oh, my
T-ball
goodness.
so much. That was so much fun to watch because it was just nonstop laughs for me. And I have to like try to not let the kids see me laughing because I don't want them to think I'm laughing at them.
They're just so cute.
Yeah.
They're so cute, and I would enjoy like their befuddledness.
Yeah.
Like you got the little kid in the outfield just like looking up at the sky, like,
Or the one crouching down, playing in the dirt,
playing
picking the
right.
daisies.
Like, oh, there's
Yep.
a ball. It's just so adorable.
And then they hit the
Yeah.
ball and do nothing, and everyone starts yelling at them. Isn't that great?
Yeah, well, there was that. T-ball a little less, but Little League, yeah. The Little Leagues around here, they take that pretty seriously, too. Yeah. I always felt like my son, had he decided to stay in baseball, would have been a great catcher. He has a fantastic arm, great accuracy, and he can squat forever. Like, he can just sit in a squat forever. And I'm like, man, you would have been a great catcher.
My legs go dead. I'm
Yeah. He also did karate, another singular sport.
Yeah.
And he went all the way through. He's got his black belt and an additional 2 stripes on his black belt. Like, he
Nice.
just really that was something he could really put his focus into. I think the challenge of it was good for him. I think that kids learn a lot of things from organized sports.
Yeah, for sure.
Like being respectful, being part of a team, understanding the rules of things, like learning the rules of things and how to follow the rules of things. I think those are all really good lessons for kids.
Yeah. How to work together and
Yeah.
yeah.
And
How to be a good winner, how to be a good
Yes, Learn how to
loser.
win and learn how to lose
Yeah.
with dignity.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's important.
The Sellies yesterday were minimal on both sides. I have to give respect to the opposing team. Like, they were up by 10. Not a lot of Sellies when they hit those goals. They could have made the kids feel real bad about it, but they didn't.
I love how hockey slang is part of her everyday speech now. It's great.
I was thinking about our Nords and how they give us a new vocabulary word every time they come in, and I have one for them.
She can't wait till
I can't wait to
Wednesday.
tell them.
Oh,
It's feta. Crumbles under pressure. Oh, he's feta.
he's feta.
Crumbles under pressure.
Wow.
I like it. Don't you like it?
That's pretty good.
Crumbles under pressure.
It's pretty
Feta.
good. Sarah can't wait.
I can't wait.
Let me at him.
Let me I'm going to tell
Yeah,
them all
those
about it.
Nords.
Yeah. Those Nords are doing great, huh?
They are.
First place? We're
They've
tied
won-
for first.
Yeah, they've won
Yeah.
9 of their last 10.
Yeah, I would really
Which is
love.
pretty good.
I would love to have. Don't jinx
Oh,
it.
sorry.
No, I would love to have a conversation with their coach. This is
Okay.
his second year, right?
Yeah.
Sklerlick's been there for 2 years.
I tell you what, I'm going to set it up with Nick Withy.
You gotta.
And it's going to be Sarah and Nick Skurlick one-on-one.
And I'm gonna be like, yo, what's up?
You can. It'll be like one of those old Barbara Walters interviews.
Right?
Oh, boy.
We'll promote it for weeks.
I'll get the biggest hair I can find.
We'll play a couple of clips here and there.
The first time I met Nick Skurlick, he gave me a hard time. Like, I walked into the studio and he was already there.
Yeah.
And the minute I walked in, he started giving me shit. And I was like, I don't even know you. Who are you?
Are you?
I work here. What are you doing here?
Who invited you?
Why are you invited here? But he was fun to talk to. But it's a big shift. So we've been talking to Nords for 3 years, right? 3 or 4 years
Yeah.
even. And so there, the first 2 years, it was a different coaching staff. And now Skurlick came in and he coaches differently than the previous administration. And I would really love to pick his brain a little bit
Yeah.
and find out, okay, you've been doing this now for a couple years.
Yeah.
You're making it work.
What's your strategy?
You're making it, obviously, he's making
Yeah.
it work, right? Like this last year was pretty great too. So I would love to talk to him.
Well, good. We're going to make it happen.
Okay.
I'm just going to hang back.
You're going to hang back.
Enjoy the show.
I'm going to be like,
He's
have
gonna
you
hit record and
Have you ever heard of feta?
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. Crumbles under pressure.
Locally owned and locally focused, Lydia Media celebrates the heart of the greater Lewiston-Auburn area through 2 magazines, Uncle Andy's Digest and LA Metro Magazine, and the new Lydia's Lunch Bunch podcast. Each production shines a positive light on local businesses, nonprofits, events, and individuals making a difference in our community. Keep your advertising dollars local and position your business in front of your target audience with Lydia Media. Learn more at LydiaMediaLLC.com.
Sarah, when you were out those few days, I had to wear your headphones.
My tiny headphones? What'd you think?
They were not very comfortable.
They're tiny.
They're tiny.
Yeah. I have a tiny head.
We've been through this.
And Mark announced that my 7-year-old grandson has a bigger head than you.
Yeah.
Which is true, right?
It is absolutely
I'm just
true.
spewing facts over here.
I think I listened to that episode and I was like,
Oh, yeah. We forget these are preserved forever
nice
now.
of them to point that out. That I have a tiny head. That's fine. I
We're
don't
here
have
for you, Sarah.
I know. I'll just add that to my list that of things that I talk to my therapist about. My tiny head.
I wonder how many times we come up in therapy.
It's okay.
You guys are therapy. I don't know if you know that or not.
Aw.
It's where I talk about all my deepest, darkest secrets.
Oh, no.
While it's being recorded.
Live on air. Well, not live, but yeah. Preserved for all time.
It's live at the time.
At the time. Live and in person.
No editing whatsoever.
None. When I do listen back to our episodes, I'm like, wait, he took out that funny part.
I made a funny and he took it out.
I have to say, though, I listened to the episode that we did with Katie Lisnick last week, and I laughed out loud at my peregrine falcon impression. I was like,
Oh, we know.
What are you doing?
We know. We were here.
What is wrong with you? And then the pigeon follow-up, I was like, what's
I was like, I was
wrong with
debating
me?
whether to include any of that. Peregrine falcon
Or all
pitch
of it.
other than the story. And I'm like, we reference it 6 times
put it
after
in.
that. So I'm like, I have to keep it in. Like minute 45, we're like, oh yeah, the peregrine falcon. Do you think he was really looking for a pigeon going, oh, I wonder if there's a pigeon in here?
So I catch up on our podcast sometimes when I'm on the treadmill or working out at the Y. And I do the same. I start laughing out loud. And I'm like, I must look ridiculous with my earbud. And I'm like, what's that lady doing laughing while she's on the treadmill?
I thought it was funny.
Apparently, you did.
Just kept talking about it. I made Nick listen to it. I was like, you gotta hear this. It's so funny. I think I'm so funny. Like, I go back and forth. Like, I listen to our podcast sometimes because I'm like, I wonder how that came out. Because sometimes it's a show in the morning. You never know what it's going to be. But
Like
you do
this morning.
You do you do a fantastic job editing. You
Thank
really
you.
do.
Thank you.
So I'll listen to it and I'll be like, oh, wow, that came out pretty good, actually. Credit to Mark for that. But then
sure.
I can listen to like comedy podcasts, but I also listen to a lot of like true crime podcasts. And so I'll be at the gym and I'll be listening to something funny and laugh out loud. But then I'll be listening to one of those podcasts and then I'll go, ooh. Like, ooh, that's, ooh, ah. Like making faces of like,
Get a good mixture going
Yeah.
on.
skip. I don't need to know the details. So scary.
That's how that happened.
So that's how that happened.
Yeah.
I don't
I
even
came
know
up
how
with
I
a
got
falcon
here.
voice and then made comedy gold.
Well, I mean, you weren't wrong. How do they know?
They know. What do they do? They're
And
like,
he followed a pigeon in there, and it was there for 4 to 5 days.
see the animal control officer writing a report, and then what happened? And the like taking notes, and the peregrine being like, "Well, then."
And he has a blanket over his shoulders and
he's like
snacks.
shaking and a little cup of coffee in his hand. And the animal control. Oh, okay. Just like taking.
Oh, I wish I would have recorded this
Peregrine-
one on video.
It's been 4 to 5 days. That is
The
amazing.
peregrine falcon's like, someone should call my mom. She's probably worried.
You know what, Sarah? Maybe this is a bit waiting to happen.
I can't.
Maybe we can come up with a story
Oh my gosh.
and do a theater of the mind. Peregrine Falcon Pigeon podcast.
I don't know.
All right.
I just think about that poor little peregrine falcon. He was stuck for 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
But also, like, so he's stuck, but, like, there's rats and mice and chipmunks and stuff in there, right? So it's not like he didn't have anything to eat.
He was disoriented.
Sarah, stop diminishing the trauma of the peregrine falcon.
What do you have against this falcon? He was traumatized.
Stuck inside for 4 or 5 days
My God.
with no food.
I never realized you were so heartless.
What about the pigeon?
What about the pigeon? Exactly. Did the pigeon get away?
The pigeon lives in the mill all the time. That's why he went in there.
That's where he works.
Pigeon's like, he came into my home.
Trying to provide for his family.
I'm just trying to make a decent wage and make some blankets.
Thanks to our sponsors, Ruper's Beverage and Redemption and United Piping. And if you'd like to be part of the Lydia's Lunch Bunch advertising family, reach out to Pam via email at pam@lydiamediallc.com.
Mark had enough of that.
Have a great day.
He shut us down, Sarah.
We can't just make up stories about pigeons and peregrine falcons all day long. There are things to do.
We can, but it's not advised. Tomorrow we have Amy Stacy Curtis coming in. We're going to hear all about her story that is in the winter issue.
She's an incredible human, truly.
And she's bringing her ukulele.
I love this.
Thanks for listening. We'll catch you tomorrow.